For 130 years, Tikal's grand monuments, once symbols of unrivaled power, ceased to rise. Its dynastic record, meticulously carved for generations, fell silent after the dynamic early centuries of the 9th Baktun. No new stela marked the passing of rulers. No elaborate temples reached for the jungle canopy. What cataclysm could extinguish the vibrant record of the greatest city in the Maya world, turning its legacy into a void? Welcome back to the History Atlas. Today, we journey into the heart of classic Maya civilization to dissect the Battle of Tikal versus Caracol in 562 AD, a conflict known in ancient records as a Star War, a decisive military event signifying the conquest of a decimation and Cryandi, major polity. We will uncover how one swift, brutal defeat reshaped the entire Maya landscape. The classic period of Maya civilization, from approximately 250 to 900 AD, saw the rise of a sophisticated yet fragmented world within the dense southern Maya lowlands, a region encompassing modern-day Guatemala, Belize, and parts of Mexico. Unlike a unified empire, this landscape was defined by numerous independent city-states, such as Tikal, Calakmul, Caracol, Copan, and Palenque. These were not isolated entities, but components of what historians term galactic polities, intricate networks of shifting alliances, tributary relationships, and ritual warfare, all gravitating around dominant centers. Competition for vital resources and control over lucrative trade routes constantly drove this intricate dynamic. Obsidian, essential for tools and weapons. Jade, prized for its ritualistic and aesthetic value. Cacao, a revered commodity. And salt, a dietary necessity. All flowed along routes that were zealously guarded and frequently contested. Maya warfare was distinct from large-scale territorial conquests. Its primary objectives were the assertion of dominance, the capture of high-ranking elites for ritual sacrifice, and the disruption of rival power structures. Total annihilation, or widespread territorial annexation, was rare. The focus was on political and religious legitimacy through victory. This complex political system unfolded across a challenging environment, the dense tropical jungle. This terrain profoundly impacted communication and logistics, making large-scale, coordinated troop movements exceedingly difficult and slow. Yet, it simultaneously offered unparalleled opportunities for stealth, making surprise raids and potent ambushes pervasive and effective tactics in the ceaseless rivalries of the classic Maya world. At the heart of the Petén jungle basin, in what is now Guatemala, lay Tikal, a city of unparalleled stature. For centuries, it had reigned as a hegemonic power, its influence radiating across the southern lowlands. Its monumental core, though many iconic structures like temples I, II, IV, V, and VI would be completed later, already boasted vast complexes and supported a population estimated in the tens of thousands. This supremacy was built upon control of vital trade routes, channeling obsidian, jade, and other precious commodities.
The Star War begins.
Its robust and ancient
Tikal's
dynastic
light
lineage even bore the indelible mark of contact with distant Teotihuacan, evidenced by the arrival of Stranger's event in 378 AD that reshaped its political landscape. By 562 AD, Tikal was ruled by Wak Chan Keawil, a lord inheriting this vast legacy, presiding over a realm accustomed to its dominance. Eastward, amidst the forested uplands of modern-day Belize, a new power was ascendant, Caracol. Unlike Tikal's ancient dominion, Caracol's rise was more recent, marked by a dynamic and militaristic expansion throughout the 6th century. Initially a smaller polity, its rulers harbored a potent ambition, most notably Ken II, who reigned in 562 AD. Caracol sought not merely survival, but to dismantle Tikal's established order, challenging its stranglehold on regional power. The geographic proximity of these two giants, Tikal deeply embedded in the lowlands and Caracol positioned strategically further east, fueled their inevitable collision. Caracol's location provided it access to alternative trade networks and resources, routes that Tikal considered its exclusive domain, making these pathways both arteries of commerce and conduits of rising contention. The growing tensions were palpable as Caracol's aggressive expansion directly threatened the long-held spheres of influence Tikal had painstakingly cultivated over centuries. While direct stellaic records detailing a protracted Tikal-Caracol conflict prior to 562 AD remain elusive, the broader canvas of classic Maya politics was defined by constant shifts in power, allegiance, and animosity. Caracol's ascendancy was not an isolated phenomenon, but the outcome of astute geopolitical maneuvering. It systematically eroded Tikal's established networks of vassalage and forged new alliances across the southern lowlands. In this intricate tapestry of rivalries, Tikal's perennial antagonist, Calakmul, is plausibly seen as a shadow participant, potentially offering indirect support to Caracol. Such intricate political stratagems, involving distant allies and adversaries, were common in the classic Maya world, with the dense jungle environment often providing concealment for clandestine diplomatic efforts. The difficulty of traversing the lowlands meant that strategic outposts or alliances along specific routes held immense value, controlling the flow of goods and information. As tensions mounted, proxy conflicts and smaller raids became instrumental. These localized skirmishes, often targeting trade routes or lesser settlements, functioned as vital tests of resolve and disrupted Tikal's economic lifeblood, further destabilizing its hegemonic grip. The jungle, with its low visibility and numerous hidden paths, allowed Caracol to discreetly cultivate alliances and launch these probing raids without immediate detection by Tikal's extensive intelligence network, building a sense of unease. Central to the Maya understanding of warfare was its profound ritualistic dimension. Campaigns were rarely initiated without careful attention to astronomical alignments, with the Star War designation frequently coinciding with specific celestial events believed to signify auspicious moments for a decisive strike. The drums of war, therefore, resonated not just with military intent, but with the profound weight of cosmic sanction, building an inexorable momentum towards confrontation. The armies of the classic Maya period were not standing professional legions in the European tradition. Rather, forces were assembled from a core of elite warriors, nobles, and specialized units supplemented by conscripted commoners and allied contingents. Overall command typically fell to the Kuhul Ajah, the Divine Lord, or to a highly esteemed war captain, a Kalumte, a role likely fulfilled by Caracol's general, Ukum. Their arsenal, designed for brutal close-quarters combat, comprised atlatls for launching darts and spears, formidable thrusting spears, obsidian-edged clubs, and axes. Padded cotton armor and shields provided crucial defense. The traditional objectives of Maya warfare were multifaceted, extending beyond mere territorial acquisition. Battles aimed at capturing enemy leaders for ritual sacrifice, seizing specific sacred sites, disrupting economic networks, and asserting political dominance. However, the designation of a star war indicated a far more aggressive and comprehensive goal, a decisive strike intended to dismantle the target polity's leadership and prestige. For Caracol, this was not a typical border skirmish, but a meticulously planned campaign focused on penetrating Tikal's defenses and directly confronting its ruler, Wak Chan Kawil. This represented a calculated, daring maneuver. Tikal, as the long-standing hegemonic power, maintained substantial defenses, including fortified boundaries, strategic watchtowers, and readiness along key approaches. Yet, their preparations likely anticipated conventional incursions, possibly underestimating Caracol's audacious strategy. The challenging terrain of the dense Peten jungle fundamentally dictated campaign logistics. Large formations were impractical. Success hinged on smaller, highly mobile units, expertly navigating the labyrinthine forest. Caracol's strategy likely involved experienced jungle warriors using less traveled paths to bypass known Tikal defenses. This exploited limited visibility and logistical difficulties to achieve critical surprise. The terrain was not merely a backdrop, but a primary challenge and a profound advantage for those who mastered its intricate character. April 29, 562 AD, under the long count designation 9.6.8.4, 21, 1 sec, marked the day of reckoning for Tikal. Caracol, under the audacious leadership of its Kuhul Ajah Khan II and executed by the probable field commander Kalumte Ukum, unleashed a swift and devastating star war against the long-reigning power. This was no conventional frontier skirmish. It was a targeted, decisive strike aimed directly at the heart of Tikal's authority. Caracol's forces, mastering the dense tropical jungle that often served Tikal as a protective barrier, turned the environment into an asset for stealth and surprise. The limited visibility and numerous hidden pathways, endemic to the lowlands, allowed smaller, agile units to bypass Tikal's established defensive earthworks and outer watchtowers. This profound penetration into Tikal's immediate sphere of influence was not an open march, but a calculated, rapid advance, designed to disorient and overwhelm. The jungle terrain, which precluded large-scale formations and conventional maneuvers, instead favored disciplined, mobile units capable of launching sudden, overwhelming attacks from concealed positions. Tikal's defenders, likely caught by surprise within their own territory, found themselves embroiled in fierce, close-quarters combat. The swiftness of Caracol's assault, erupting unexpectedly from the jungle's depths, shattered any organized resistance and left Tikal's forces disoriented. The ultimate objective of a star war against a major polity was the capture of its divine ruler, and Caracol achieved this with brutal efficiency. The pinnacle of Caracol's strategic success and Tikal's utter humiliation culminated in the capture of its Kuhul Ajah, Wak Chan Kawil. Ancient records on Caracol's Altar 21 and Monument 6 starkly recount the axing of Tikal's water lily throne, a powerful, symbolic declaration of the complete political and military overthrow of the once dominant city. With their divine lord taken, Tikal's command structure fractured, and its resistance swiftly collapsed. The battle, fought potentially on the very periphery of Tikal's grand plazas or within its immediate precincts, became a testament to Caracol's audacious planning and execution, concluding with a swift, decisive victory against a seemingly invincible power. This audacious strategy was the brainchild of Caracol's Khan II, whose vision for challenging Tikal went beyond conventional raiding. Its meticulous execution points to the exceptional military acumen of Kalum-Tiukum, the probable field commander. Their ability to organize, motivate, and direct forces effectively through difficult jungle terrain, maintaining cohesion, secrecy, and aggressive impetus over what must have been a challenging infiltration, underscores a superior tactical leadership. Conversely, the long-reigning city of Tikal, perhaps too steeped in its own past glories, failed to adapt swiftly enough to Caracol's aggressive form of warfare, a failure that proved catastrophically decisive. The capture of Wak Chan Kawil, the paramount ruler of Tikal, by Caracol's forces was the ultimate act of humiliation and the definitive sign of a Star War victory. Though specific historical records regarding his end are not preserved, the common fate for such high-status captives in classic Maya warfare was ritual sacrifice, a public spectacle designed to strip the conquered polity of its divine leadership and assert the victor's absolute dominance. For Tikal, the immediate consequences were devastating. Its elite warriors suffered significant casualties, its social fabric was disrupted, and its economic networks of trade and tribute were severely weakened. However, the most profound and enduring legacy of the 562 AD defeat was not the immediate loss of life or wealth, but the abrupt, profound silence that descended upon Tikal's monumental core. For an astonishing span of 130 years, from 562 AD until approximately 692 AD, Tikal ceased almost all public monumental construction and inscription. No new stelae commemorated dynastic events, no elaborate temples charted the movements of the cosmos, and the meticulously maintained royal lineage effectively vanished from the public record. This great hiatus was an unprecedented cessation of activity for a city of Tikal's former magnitude, signifying a severe political collapse, a profound loss of prestige, and the suppression of its ruling dynasty's public authority. In stark contrast, Caracol entered a period of unprecedented ascendancy. Its rulers commissioned a surge of new monuments, proclaiming their victories and legitimizing their expanded sphere of influence. Its population swelled, and its control over vital resources and trade routes solidified, establishing Caracol as a dominant power in the southern Maya lowlands, directly at the expense of its vanquished rival. The very act of Tikal's silence became the loudest testament to Caracol's triumph. The Star War of 562 AD was more than a singular engagement. It was a profound inflection point in classic Maya history. Tikal, the dominant power for centuries, suffered not merely a military defeat, but a political humiliation that silenced its monumental record for approximately 130 years. This decisive victory catapulted Caracol into the forefront of regional power, demonstrating its military prowess and ambition, and fundamentally reshaped the dynamics of the southern lowlands, indirectly intensifying the broader rivalry between Tikal and its great northern adversary, Calakmul. Yet, the cyclical nature of Maya history meant even such a catastrophic blow was not terminal. Tikal, despite its long dormancy, eventually recovered. Under the leadership of Jasaw Chan Kawil I, over a century after its defeat, Tikal reasserted itself, famously overcoming Calakmul in 695 AD, thereby ending its hiatus and reclaiming its ancient prestige. The saga of Tikal and Caracol stands as a stark testament to the high stakes of interpolity warfare in the classic Maya world, illustrating that even the most dominant city-states were vulnerable, and that power, though absolute for a time, was rarely static. The echoes of that star war in 562 AD remind us that even the mightiest civilizations can face periods of profound vulnerability. What other lost empires faced such defining turning points? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more journeys into the past.